Some people really forgot just how good Kobbie Mainoo is.
And it's the kids doing the damage.
This is a player who came straight out of United's academy and looked comfortable in the biggest games.
In a word, how would you sum up the last 8 months of your career?
Unbelievable.
He was calm under pressure, demanding on the ball.
Kobbie Mainoo, goodness me. Goodness me, what a footballer.
For a moment, he was United's next superstar.
Now, what he's done for Manchester United, scoring a cup final, what he's done for England, I think he's going to be a superstar.
And then, he was benched.
How does he not play in this team?
That's what I wanted to ask.
My mind.
Under Ruben Amorim, Mainoo somehow went from an undroppable talent to an afterthought.
He needs to fight for his place, and we need Kobbie. So that is not going to change.
He was stuck watching matches from the sidelines.
And now he experienced the other side of it. So sometimes you can feel the pressure, and changes within the club are not in your favor, and he's just lacking minutes.
And the longer it went on, the more people quietly forgot just how high his level actually was.
There is suggestion his future may lie away from Old Trafford. He's too good for that, isn't he? Man United can't afford to lose him, can they?
Now under Carrick, Mainoo is back where he belongs.
This Kobbie Mainoo sequence of playing every minute under Michael Carrick because he's coming off to a standing ovation.
He's dictating the tempo, running the show from the heart of midfield.
I've never watched Kobbie play and he's not played like that. I've never seen him have a bad game. I can't believe how talented the kid is. I mean, this club is all about producing academy players, and he's a fantastic one.
He's showing why he was rated so highly in the first place, why benching him never really made any sense.
What does it say about Ruben Amorim's decision to overlook him, Owen, the way he's playing?
Well, it just showed that it was wrong.
One of United's best academy products is showing once again that his talent never disappeared. People just stopped paying attention. Mainoo joined the academy when he was just 9 years old and quickly stood out as one of the best kids in his age group. United made sure he tried out lots of positions, so they played him as a winger, a striker, and in midfield.
The thing I liked at United was the freedom that they gave you from a young age, like to play your own game and to have the ball, to dribble and do what you liked, and that's what one of the big reasons I fell in love with football.
That way, he could develop all-around skills. By the time he was 16, he was already playing in the UEFA Youth League, and a year later, he helped United win the FA Youth Cup in 2022, playing alongside Alejandro Garnacho. And even back then, City were trying to lure him away. That's how highly people rated him. In fact, even in 2023, Gary Neville said that Mainoo plays like a Manchester City player.
He looked like a Manchester City player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honestly, I was watching him and I was thinking, that's a player that Pep Guardiola will be looking at and thinking, I'd want him in my midfield. That's what my midfield players do.
By 17, he was already knocking on the door of the first team. He made his senior debut in January of 2023. And not long after, cameras caught Erik ten Hag telling him during the Carabao Cup celebrations that his time would come. And it did. After shining in United's preseason tour in 2023, he started his first Premier League game at Everton in November.
Big game in particular for 17-year-old Kobbie Mainoo, who makes his Manchester United debut. What do you like about him?
For him, it's a great opportunity. He did very well during the winter camp in Spain. He did very well against Everton in the friendly. So he deserved to play. And so I'm happy to give him that opportunity.
And won man of the match straight away.
But sometimes when you sort of see a player come in for the first time and the way in which the temperament, he's obviously got technical ability and skill. You know, you don't play for Manchester United in the first place if you haven't got that. You don't get picked by Erik ten Hag if you haven't got that. But then what you don't know, we've seen him before in the younger teams, but what you don't know is how they're going to handle it. And he's gone in there at Goodison Park in what could have been the most ferocious atmosphere at Goodison Park for many a year, with a hostile environment, and he looked class.
From that point, he became a regular.
So was this the moment, the big breakthrough, the launchpad moment, do you think?
Yeah, 100%.
Between Christmas of 2023 and the FA Cup final in May 2024, he started nearly every game. What made him so special wasn't just his talent on the ball, but it was his calmness. At only 18 years old, he was already the guy slowing games down and bringing calmness to the midfield.
You're playing in the middle of the park for Man United. It's a difficult position. But he just he made it look very, very easy. And obviously he added some important, he's got goals to it. We talk about his defensive side of it, his reading of the game. Again, I go back to that football intelligence, but his maturity was what impressed me last year.
That maturity plus flashes of real brilliance had everybody buzzing about a new star in the making.
He's coming at one of the most difficult times in the club's recent history, yet he's just stood out as being someone who's temperament, composure is off the scale, and looks like he's got the world at his feet for the next 10 years.
His style of play always reminded me of Thiago Alcantara. The way he would just glide past players and find ways out of tight spaces. He really was and is a maestro. United's trip to Wolves in January of 2024 turned into the night that Kobbie Mainoo announced himself as more than just a promising youngster, but somebody who could be a match winner. In the 97th minute, with the game level and nerves starting to creep in, the 18-year-old picked up the ball and produced a moment of pure class.
And the teenager, the local boy, the academy product has fired his team ahead.
For his first Premier League goal to be a stoppage time winner showed the kind of composure he had.
2 goals in 2 games, and he rescued things on Thursday night against Wolverhampton Wanderers. I mean, sometimes we can go a little bit early in praise for a young player, but my goodness me, he is some player, isn't he?
This is the sort of calmness you would expect from someone like Bruno, not a teenager.
We've been talking about the goal. I didn't get it. I had some chances that I didn't get it, but really happy that he has solved the problem for us.
What stood out wasn't just the finish, it was how calm he was throughout the match. While United wobbled and led Wolves back into the game, Mainoo stayed calm, always showing for the ball and keeping things moving in the midfield. Even when he pushed higher up, he carried the same confidence. He never looked rushed or panicked. Again, similar qualities that I saw in Thiago Alcantara. Even his celebration after scoring, signaling for everyone to relax, summed him up perfectly. That night at Molineux showed that he wasn't just a tidy academy product. He was somebody who could decide matches.
I guess you must have watched it back on TV as well, but what I love, as you're running away celebrating, the camera cuts to Sir Alex Ferguson.
Such a big part of the club's history, and so to see him even just clapping for me scoring a goal is it's unbelievable.
Mainoo's rise gave United fans hope that their academy was still producing stars. Then against Liverpool, he showed his class again, with a perfect first touch and a curling finish into the corner. He just looked like a player built for the big stage.
Kobbie Mainoo with a wonderful Old Trafford goal.
The highlight came at Wembley in the FA Cup final. United faced City, and Mainoo, who was just 19 years old, started in midfield. Not only did he play unbelievable, he scored the winning goal.
Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes miskicked it. Mainoo! No flag this time.
United beat their rivals, and Mainoo was named the man of the match.
Teenager.
Oh, what a picture.
Scores the winner in an FA Cup final. That's the genuine kind of thing you do in the playground, you dream of. No one actually does it, Kobbie.
I think I played in every round, and to score in the final against City, again at Wembley, yeah, it was unbelievable.
For fans, seeing a local kid from the academy deliver at Wembley against City was the stuff of dreams. That image of him celebrating in red on the national stage immediately became one of those moments that fans would never forget. And his rise didn't just stop there. Gareth Southgate couldn't ignore his form, so he called him up to the England first team. He had only just made the under-21s in March of 2024, but by June, he was on the plane to the Euros with the senior team.
You score the winner in an FA Cup final. You're selected for an England squad to go to your first major tournament. Just how special does that feel altogether?
Yeah, it's been a crazy couple of weeks.
And again, not only was he a part of the squad, he ended up starting in the final.
And he deserved to start. No, it was impressive. It was just impressive how he played in the club. That's maybe the most important, how he played in the club. And then it was almost like, it was almost logic step that he played for the country, and he played fearless. He played with excitement that the youth sometimes brings.
Yes, England lost to Spain, but Mainoo's spot in the starting 11 showed just how far he'd come in such a short time.
Obviously my first major tournament with England, to play and get to the final, was amazing, but we lost, you know. So it stings, but it's bittersweet, you know. Yeah. It's more bitter than sweet though.
By the end of that summer, Mainoo looked unstoppable. He was an FA Cup winner, a regular for Manchester United, and an England international who had already played in a European Championship final.
Now what he's done for Manchester United, scoring a cup final, what he's done for England, I think he's going to be a superstar.
Everyone was convinced that he was the future of United, and he was praised for his footballing intelligence, maturity, and just how good he was on the ball.
Yeah, he's handled big games from minute one, playing in big away games, but then obviously cup finals and scoring in cup finals. To do what he did in the Liverpool game, in the cup final against Manchester City, is off the scale. And he was actually the player in such a poor United performing team last season that you could rely upon at times when they were struggling in games to actually look like the most experienced player and the leader.
At that point, the idea that his place at United would be in doubt seemed impossible. But everything changed in the 2024-2025 season. United started poorly. The Dutch Heisenberg was sacked in November, and Ruben Amorim came in as the new manager. Now naturally, with a new coach comes new ideas, and Amorim's style and system was very different than Ten Hag. He set the team up in a 3-4-3, and suddenly, Mainoo's spot in midfield wasn't so safe anymore. At first, it looked okay. Amorim gave him a couple of starts as he was trying to figure out his squad. But as the season went on, Mainoo started slipping to the bench. He did have a few small injuries, but the bigger issue was Amorim's tactic. He couldn't figure out the best role for him. He tried Mainoo as one of the double pivots, as a number 10, even as a false 9, which by the way was the weirdest experiment. In a match against Crystal Palace, Amorim benched both of United's real strikers, Rasmus Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee, and pushed Mainoo up front instead. The idea was to give United more possession in the final third and try something different tactically. To be fair, Mainoo had a few bright moments early on. He linked up well with Ahmad, got into good spaces, and even rattled the post with a shot. But as the game went on, it became clear he wasn't the answer. The Palace defenders dealt with United's attack easily, and without a real number 9, the team lacked any cutting edge. United ended the match with loads of possession, but hardly any shots on target. The whole experiment really summed up United's problems. Instead of leaning on their £100 million worth of strikers, Amorim chose to gamble with a midfielder up front, and it backfired. Mainoo, who was already struggling to get minutes in his natural role, was now put in an awkward position where he wasn't able to make a difference. United needed goals, not more experiments, and Mainoo playing as a false 9 only highlighted how far off balance the team had gone. None of those experiments really worked. The clearest sign of his fall came in the Europa League. In the knockout rounds, he didn't start once, and in the final against Spurs, he only came on in stoppage time when the game was basically over, which is crazy to think about given how well he performed in previous Europa League fixtures. In Bucharest, Mainoo had reminded everyone why he's so special, getting a goal and assist as one of Amorim's number 10. That role had unlocked his best qualities. Mainoo's composure under pressure, his balance, his ability to receive on the half turn in crowded areas and still find the next pass translated beautifully in the final third. You could see it with the way he connected with Garnacho and Højlund, creating these little triangles and shooting lanes. Just as encouraging is his versatility. He had already shown that he can operate deeper when needed, but pushing him closer to goal added a new dimension to United's attack. They now had a technician who can slip between the lines, combine quickly, and even finish moves himself. With Bruno capable of dropping to help build up play, Mainoo's timing and his touch between the lines gave United another route to break down low block. It also helped that Mainoo has this unique gift of making tight spaces feel big. Yet we never saw him utilizing that role again. By the end of that season, his minutes had dropped massively. He went from playing nearly every game under Ten Hag to starting less than half under Amorim. Naturally, his confidence took a hit. Amorim said nice things about him.
Near the box is really good, the small connections.
But he also made it clear that he expected way more.
I have a big demands for him.
In his system, most of the team's early build-up goes through the 3 center backs and wing backs ahead of him. Mainoo is United's best midfielder at dropping deep to collect the ball before turning out of pressure and passing through the line. But that is less of a necessity in the Amorim system. When you look at this chart from The Athletic, you can see that most of Mainoo's runs come from him coming short to get the ball and bringing it forward. If he's not doing that, then he's often making support runs after making the initial pass. Mainoo kept his head down and worked hard. But for him, this was unfamiliar territory. Up until that point, his progress was completely exponential. Suddenly he was fighting for minutes. And Amorim even said himself, Mainoo's not used to fighting for his place. Heading into the 2025-2026 season, Mainoo hoped that preseason would earn him his spot back, but things didn't go well. He did start in the Carabao Cup, where United embarrassingly lost to Grimsby Town. And then to make matters worse, Amorim keeps using Bruno Fernandes in a deeper role, basically putting Mainoo in direct competition with the captain, a battle that he's never gonna win.
No, because he's fighting for the position now with Bruno.
For a 20-year-old with big ambitions, the frustration is obvious. Mainoo wants to be playing and deciding matches, not watching everything unfold from the sidelines. And that's exactly why at the end of the summer transfer window, Mainoo had asked to go out on loan. He wasn't trying to quit United. He just wanted one season where he could play regular football to actually develop his abilities. Napoli were even lined up to take him, but United blocked the move. Amorim said he values Mainoo and wants to keep him.
I want Kobbie to stay. He needs to fight for his place, and we need Kobbie. So that is not going to change.
But he still doesn't play him that much. It's like when a little kid has a toy he doesn't like, but as soon as you take that toy, he says he wants it back. Look at how well he played against City and Liverpool during a season where United were legit fighting relegation. Yes, Mainoo isn't the biggest or fastest midfielder, but he makes up for it with his brains and technique. He keeps the ball moving, he stays calm under pressure, and rarely does anything wrong. Basically the complete opposite of Ugarte. Through all of that though, Mainoo stands out because he's actually tidy on the ball. His second touch isn't a tackle, unlike Casemiro and Ugarte. Mainoo is reliable, and I feel like that's huge for a team that often looks so chaotic. He's still young, still developing, and of course he'll make mistakes here and there, but that's normal. What matters though is he's the exact type of player that United can build around.